So today we're going to tackle one of the most stubborn, most profound questions in all of physics. What is time? And is the past really, well, past? It's a question that naturally leads to an even bigger one. You've heard this a million times, right? It's the classic what if. But what if the universe has its own built-in defense mechanism against our good intentions? What if any attempt you make to fix the past is doomed not just to fail, but to actually become the very reason it happened in the first place? Okay, for a thought experiment this big, we're going to need a special tool. Let's talk about the tachyon. Now, this is a hypothetical particle. We've never seen one, but it's mathematically possible. And its one defining rule is that it has to travel faster than light. For our story, this is the key to unlocking yesterday.
So how would that even work? Well, it all comes down to relativity. As you get closer and closer to the speed of light, time for you starts to slow down compared to everyone else. If you could hit light speed, your time would stop completely. The theory suggests that if you could somehow punch through that barrier, your clock would start ticking backwards. You wouldn't just be moving incredibly fast, you'd literally be moving into the past.
All right, let's set the stage. A little parable. We've got our hero, and they're armed with a tachyon transmitter. They see something small and clumsy happen, and they think, I can fix that. Just one simple little correction. This is it. The ultimate test of power against destiny.
So what's the big catastrophe? It's not that big at all. A friend slips on a banana peel. It's embarrassing. Maybe they sprain an ankle, but it's totally preventable. Our hero grabs their device and shoots a quick tachyon text message a few moments into the past. Simple, direct. Watch out for the banana peel. What could possibly go wrong?
And this is where it all goes sideways. In this new timeline, the friend is walking along, their phone buzzes, they get a weird text from the future. Confused, they pull out their phone to read this bizarre warning. And in that moment, their eyes are no longer on the path in front of them.
And they slip on the banana peel. You see what happened? The warning itself created the distraction that made sure the fall would happen. The attempt to change the past became the very cause of it. The timeline didn't shatter, it just absorbed the paradox. It's a perfect closed loop. And look, this isn't just a clever trick for our little banana peel story. It's a paradox that haunts us. Think about H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. The time traveler keeps going back to save his wife, but she always dies. No matter what he does, a carriage wreck, a stray bullet, a sudden illness, the universe seems to insist on that outcome. It's like some events are just fixed points. So this pushes us to ask a much, much deeper question. What if we're not just fighting against cause and effect? What if we're fighting the actual structure of reality itself? The reason we can't change the past might be because, in a very real sense, the past, the present, and the future, they all already exist, all at once. We feel time like a river, right? It's just flowing, carrying us along. But there's this competing idea in physics called the block universe, and it suggests something totally different. In this view, all of time is a single, four-dimensional block. The past isn't gone, the future isn't unwritten. It's all just there, like a loaf of bread, where every slice exists simultaneously. And here's where things get really, really weird. When physicists try to write down the most fundamental equations to describe our universe, the ones that try to connect gravity with quantum mechanics, the variable for time, the letter T, it often just vanishes. It's not there. The most famous example is a beast called the Wheeler-DeWitt equation. It's meant to describe the quantum state of the entire universe, but there's no time anywhere in it. It describes a reality that is static, timeless. And that's a massive clue that time, the way we experience it, might not be fundamental at all. So if time isn't fundamental, where the heck does it come from? Well, the idea is called emergence, and it's simpler than it sounds. Think about it. A single molecule of H2O isn't wet. It doesn't have a tide. Those are properties that only emerge when you have trillions of them working together. So what if time is like that? What if it's a property that emerges on a huge scale, but at the tiniest, most fundamental level, it just doesn't exist? And that brings us to the final act, the big reveal. If time is just an emergent property, then our entire experience of it flowing by is, in a very real sense, an illusion created by our own perception. Imagine the entire history of the universe as a giant reel of film.
Each frame on that reel is a single, static snapshot of the universe at one moment. There's no motion, no passage of time in any one individual frame. Our consciousness is like the projector, shining a light on one frame, then the next, then the next. And that sequence creates this powerful, convincing illusion that we call the flow of time.
So what does this mean for our hero with the tachyon transmitter? It means they were never going to win. They weren't trying to divert a flowing river. They were a character drawn on one frame of the film, trying to reach back and change the drawing on a previous frame. The whole movie, past, present, and future, was already printed. Their struggle was always part of the script.
And that leaves us with a pretty heavy question, doesn't it? If this model is even close to correct, it reframes everything about free will and destiny. Is our feeling of making choices just the experience of turning the page to the next chapter of a book, even though all the words are already there waiting for us to read them? Something to think about.